When I met Billy Boyd in Liverpool Comic-Con in 2024, I had a very cringy moment that was of my own doing, and I can't believe I did it, but it's done now, and I'm going to tell you about it, so let's get into this. So in May 2024, Liverpool had a Comic-Con. They do it twice a year, and we learned that all 4 of the Hobbit actors were coming to Liverpool, and they were going to be in the same place at the same time. So it felt like fate. We had to go. We're Lord of the Rings fans. They've signed the backdrop that you see behind me. We were actually coming off the back of another convention where it was the first experience starting to meet mainstream actors. So when this got announced a couple of months later, just felt like fate that we had to go there. We had to meet these actors. And of course I had Lord of the Rings merch, and I thought, this is perfect, we can get them to sign things, it's going to be great. So we got a train at the crack of dawn, practically about 5:30 in the morning. We went down there in literally a few hours, got to the main city just in time, had to jump in a taxi, get straight to the venue, through security, and then we had a big photograph and 4 different separate autographs scheduled, so it was quite a day of back-to-back autograph running from this place to that place. The mistake that we made was that we only went for one day, and we should have really went for both of them, because it was all just running around constantly for autographs. And don't get me wrong, these were really fulfilling experiences, but also they were very sort of tiring. And Billy, in fact, was the last person of the day that we were going to meet in terms of the autograph. We had taken a picture with him and the other 3 guys earlier in the day, but I didn't get to actually speak with him because it's very much photograph, move on. But I did get him to hold my Lord of the Rings spoon, which says Second Breakfast on it, which should be a video on screen right now. I've still got the footage. So I didn't actually get him to sign the spoon because I had this backdrop behind me, and I thought, well, I can only choose one or the other. So it felt like if I'm going to get the autographs of all the other guys on the backdrop, which is obviously a lot bigger and a lot easier to sign as well, then I may as well get Billy's along with it. But I got him to hold the spoon in the photograph, which I thought was kind of a bit of a genius move on my part, and he was more than willing to do it. He spoke to my wife. I was obviously speaking with Elijah and Sean, who were on the other side. So yeah, it was really, really good. So in terms of the actual autograph, Billy was the last in the day. And by this time, I think he was exhausted. I was exhausted. There'd been a whole delay with how the system worked. We had time slots, but none of those time slots were adhered to by any means. There was multiple times I got knocked back from the initial time slot from the autograph. I had to come back and had to come back, had to go back. So I think Billy was booked at about 4:45, and it was 6:15 before I actually got to the front, and I had a train at about 6:45, so there was this thing of like, oh my god, I'm either going to miss the train and get this signature, or I'm going to have to walk away without one, and that didn't seem right to me at all. Luckily things did work out, we got on the train we wanted, but still there was that sort of innate pressure, and things were starting to flag, and I've met so many people that day already, so it was kind of like I had to book myself back up. I had to think of something to say, look, come on, I know you're exhausted, but you don't get to do this every day. You really don't. It should be cherished. So as I'm sort of sitting in the queue, because my wife has went off to one of the panels for some other actors at the time, I think it was Jay and Silent Bob she was going to see. Again, the pressure comes up in my mind as I'm getting closer to meeting him. You know, what meaningful thing can I say to him? What's going to really resonate with him? But yeah, I had a couple of really awkward, almost cringy moments. First things first, I get to the front, and he says, in a very, very thick Scottish accent, "Do you care where?" I'm probably not doing it justice. It was like, "Do you care where?" And I thought, what's he saying? Like, I'm tired, and is he asking me about a Care Bear? I don't know. And it just took me a minute, and I thought, oh my god, you moron. If I'd been probably a a little bit more awake. You know, I've been up since probably like 3-4 in the morning at this point. You know, then I finally clicked and I said, oh, right, okay, yes, of course, any way you like. You know, the other guys have signed it. And again, like, he's just trying to sign everybody's things and get out of there at this point. It's the very end of the day. So that was kind of like the awkward moment where the Scottish accent threw me off. And then I remembered Billy is a Star Trek fan, as am I. So I thought, that's fantastic. And the weekend that we attended the Liverpool Comic-Con was actually May the 4th. It literally was May the 4th, which is Star Wars. So on the Star Wars day, I turned back to him as I was walking away and said, for us Star Trek fans, live long and prosper. So I made a Star Trek quote to Billy Boyd on Star Wars Day. Oh, just why did I think that was a good idea? Why did I want to be sort of doing that? So in the way, I'm glad we don't have a video recording of this, because not only I would have just been cringing afterwards. But if you guys have ever had similar experiences where you feel like you've just had a cringy moment on, you know, you've done something embarrassing in front of a celebrity, you know, let me know in the comments. But Billy was very gracious about it, bless him. He gave me a nice big smile when I said it, so you might have appreciated it, but at the time I'm thinking, what are you doing, you muppet? So if you think that moment was actually cringe or not, just let me know in the comments. I mean, maybe you think I'm probably blowing this all out of proportion, or maybe you do actually agree and go, yeah, come on, don't do that again, and I'll be like, fair play. I won't do it again. But I do have videos on meeting the other Hobbit actors. Each individual experience has its own unique story. I will certainly be ranking the experiences of meeting them, so check out that video as well when it comes out. And we're also working on a Lord of the Rings kitchen, so that'll be something else. But thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.